Welcome back. We've made a hammer from nails, we've made an axe from chainsaw chain, and today I want to make a tomahawk from this fabulous Ford Fusion car. The challenge is that every single component needs to come from this. That means the steel for the blade, the material for the scales on this tomahawk, and even the pins. It's got to come from the car, and so we've got to find out what usable is inside this thing. Right, old towel. Insole. CD-ROM.
Is anything good?
Dove's greatest hits. How about the back seats?
This is aluminium, we're looking for steel.
Right, I haven't got a clue what I'm looking at here, so maybe we circle back to that later. For now, see what is underneath it. What I'm looking for is good edge steel. This body panel is going to be made out of mild steel and it's really thin. Now there's some bits of the Tomahawk's construction that we could use this for, but I want the edge steel. I want the stuff that's got a higher carbon content, hold a good edge, and so let's have a look underneath it. Safety is, of course, a very important priority here. Now this is the type of stuff I like the look of. That is coil spring, which is usually 5160 steel, so that's 0.6% carbon, which is a perfectly good knife steel. The trouble is, that is only about 12 millimeters in diameter, half an inch in diameter. We definitely got two here at the back, 100%. I want those, so we got to get them off. How the bloomin' heck do you get one of these off? Jamie, is this the fuel tank? I reckon I need a pair of these. Gonna need something for pin stock on this thing. And this looks like quite an interesting bit of copper pipe. Ooh. I feel like I've kind of exhausted what's under the back side of it. Let's have a look at the front side of it. See how strong a seatbelt is. All right. Oh my God! Oh. All right, I think we need to pick it up a bit safer than that. Now at the workbench is the front side of a car, and I am interested in this component here. That is making power to the wheel. I reckon that should be solid. But hey, it's solid! That's a matching pair. Let's have a look and see what we can find under the engine now. Aha! There we go, Jamie.
Now we're talking.
Now we're talking.
How on earth do they come out of there?
I don't know.
Might need a new O-ring when we put this back together.
Yeah, that's definitely gone, isn't it?
I think we need to clean this crap off here.
Yeah.
Smash that out.
Hey! He's only gone and done it. Go on, give it a good wiggle. Yeah! This must be good steel. In the pile she goes. All right, let's get some sheet steel.
That's literally cardboard. Mother I lost it.
So here is what we have salvaged from the car.
Only this from an entire car?
Yes, that's all that's useful, unfortunately. So I'm gonna start preparing steel. These coil springs have this unsightly and quite stinky paint on it. So we're gonna sandblast this off, sandblast all this stuff, try and get the paint off the body panels, because the plan is to forge all this stuff out and make a big old billet of Carmasker steel. Let's forge this down into some bar. Bloody hell! Okay, we just heard a pop, and I thought something was exploding. This goes flying out of the forge. This was on the end of that. Oh my God, no! No! It's hollow! That's most of our bloody material. Crap!
It feels like it's solid though. It
It really does. This is a big problem. I was counting on that being a significant part of the material for this project. All right, well, coil spring it is. Oh, yes! Yes! Here we go. Whee! I will be quite disgruntled if these are hollow as well. So I've ground up and cut up these billets. We have the material from the axle and we have the material from the coil springs that we just welded together. We're gonna get them tacked back up and go to the forge for a little more forge welding. So here we are out the fire. We have a lot more coil spring material than we do axle material. This is going to be the core of our tomahawk. This is going to be where the edge is from. But what I do want is to get this chunk sized so that we can take 2 slabs of this axle material, put one on either side, before then finally cladding the very, very outside with the mild steel from the body panels that we sandblasted up yesterday. All right, so now is the time that we stack all of our material together. It's gonna be coil spring in the middle for the edge, axle either side, the mild steel body panels sandwiching it all together, and hopefully that is enough for a tasty tomahawk. We do need to squeeze it really tightly when we tack weld it together so as little air can get in once it's heating. But aside from that, it's gonna be just like welding up any old Damascus billet. We just gotta make sure that we keep the edge steel where the edge steel needs to be. I thought this might happen. Yeah, that top layer is not gonna stick, no chance. Alrighty, let's see if this works. It's been a long time coming. Please weld, pretty, please. It helps when you ask nicely. All right, so we've stuck together the billet. Now we've got to think about how we're going to forge this tomahawk. Also got to think about what the design is. That would probably be quite prudent as well. I'm looking to make something along these type of lines. And making this type of full tang tomahawk, typically it's made out of plate steel, laser plasma, water jet cut, angle grinder cut, whatever. But obviously we're trying to forge it out of this block. And so I'm hoping that it can go like this. From our square bar, we neck it down and isolate the material for the tang and the head. Then we take fullers to spread the head out widthways, hopefully getting ourselves some width. In an ideal world, I think we would have a little bit of a larger bar.
I have my concerns about whether this will be enough.
But we're gonna give it a good honest try. Time for old Bernie the Burnsdorfer to come to life. So I took it to the leg vise to do a little bit of upsetting with the sledge. That's put a little bit more material where we need it, and what I think we can do now that it's about 1/2 inch to 5/8 of an inch thick, probably between 12 and 16 millimeters thick, is I think we can just spread the thing out using the edges of the flat die to get it spread the right direction. And by the time it ends up being about 1/4 inch or 6 millimeters thick, it should be plenty wide enough for the tomahawk. And then we will cut and grind to final size. That is our big old chunk of metal. We'll start grinding, and if we need to stretch anything out or bend anything, we'll do that as we go. All right, need to put a little bend in this handle. Okay, this is super cool. I'm letting this cool down in the forge nice and slow, and where it's been ground, the different layers of steel are tempering in different ways. That's pretty neat to be able to see that. Now that we have a little bit of time on our hands while that cools down, I want to talk about the handle. I want to take the seat belt, I've decided that this stuff is useless, and I want to stack up a whole load of seat belt and make a micarta from it. End up making a block of something that's about this size. We've never made any micartas. This is going to be quite interesting because I've got no idea how we're going to do it. But we've got resin, we've got hardener, and I don't really think it's any more challenging than put glue between fabric, press all together, bada bing, bada boom, you've got handle material. Why did I think this was going to be quicker than just, I don't know, cutting it on the saw? Now I'm bloody committed. Oh, that's gonna be a hernia. Right, let's see how it looks after a nice weekend.
A nice weekend? What did it do?
It just chilled here on the table. My clamp is glued to the table. Woo, that is so strange! Jamie, have a feel of that.
They're furry.
They're fuzzy indeed. It's gonna be the fuzziest little tomahawk handles you ever did see. These have been flattened off, and I also went to the grinding room and just finished the profile of this. I love it. It looks mean. Now you'll remember we cut the brake pipe off the car. That's gonna be our pin material. Drill some holes, rough grind some bevels, heat treat the blade, a little bit of sharpening, a little bit of handle assembly, a little bit of handle grinding, and that is gonna be a finished car tomahawk. And everything goes full circle. What was a car now destroys the car. Folks, That's a tomahawk made from a car. I'm chuffed to bits. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Now, since I've finally hit the ripe old age of 25, I need to shave at least once a week. And though the peach fuzz that calls itself facial hair that grows on my face is nothing that impressive, it's quite important that I shave it once a week. Well, today's sponsor is Henson Shaving with their AL13 aluminium razor. They are a Canadian company. They were an aerospace manufacturing shop, and in 2020, the pandemic forced a shift in their business model, and they decided, hey, they were going to design and manufacture a precision aluminium razor. It takes these stainless double-edged blades. Now, 5 of them come with the razor, but they're incredibly inexpensive and easy to procure, only costing about 10 cents each, meaning that over your entire life of owning this razor, you'd only be spending about $3 to $5 a year on blades. If you're a little daunted about shaving with a bladed razor like this, you needn't be, because the edge only extends 1/1000th of an inch outside of the shaving plane. I think you might just get the closest shave of your life with this razor. And if you want to try it, go to hensonshaving.com/Forge. And when you use code Forge at checkout, you don't just get the razor, you get 100 more blades for free. That's enough to last like 3 or 4 years. Probably last me about 10 years. Thank you to Henson Shaving for sponsoring this video.